Mr. Jimmy Maymann, CEO of the Huffington Post Media Group. Welcome.
Thank you.
I would like firstly to start by a simple and evident question. Why Huffington Maghreb at this time? Why launching it?
Why launch it at this time? It's a good question. Originally I had a plan for 15 markets, and Maghreb was not one of my initial 15 markets. We looked at a lot of data when we did our initial list of markets, and we were very rational about what markets to do first. But I have to say, Alice and Fares, who is behind the Maghreb project here, was very convincing when they came to New York and London a little bit more than a year ago and made the case for why Maghreb now. And I think why Maghreb now really has to do, of course, we never do businesses where we can't build a business. So of course, over time it needs to be a business. But at the same time, we also feel that, you know, after the revolution, it's almost like, you know, there's not a hub for the conversation. There's not a platform for the conversation where the conversation can, you know, keep going. You know, so and obviously HuffPost has always been about conversations. It's always been about people. It's always been about engaging and connecting people. So we felt that if we waited too long, someone else might kind of become the destination for the ongoing conversation. And that's really why we decided that looking at Maghreb, because of its size, obviously, you know, these three markets together has, you know, close to 100 million people. It's a big region in its own right. We already were in France, you know, so starting with the French kind of speaking part of that region made kind of a lot of sense for us. So that's really why we, even though it wasn't on the initial list, decided that okay, let's go ahead with Maghreb. There's too many good things going on in the region, and over time it's going to be, we're sure, a very good business.
Okay, you started with launching Huffington Post Maghreb in Tunisia. Is it the first step within the framework of a whole strategy in the Maghreb?
Yes, yes. Tunisia, we felt Tunisia was a good place to start. Obviously, you know, this is where everything started when we talked about the Arab Spring. Not only because of that, but also because at this point in time we also felt when we look at the media landscape in Algeria and Morocco, it's easier to kind of, easier is not the right word, but it's probably you know, the best place to kind of start our entry into these markets, and then, you know, show the other markets how it's working here, and then bring it to Morocco and to Algeria. So from those perspectives, we felt that you know, that was always kind of our first choice for the starting market.
Okay, what, according to you, what would the Huffington Post Maghreb bring here in these countries?
No, what it brings that when I look at other media companies, what they're not bringing is, you know, it kind of, it creates a hub. It combines traditional news, you know, because obviously we need to do that. We need to report what's going on, and we obviously feel that we're good at that. But it also combines kind of the Twitter, the Facebook, all the conversations that are going on here. It combines it at one place. So suddenly you get one hub where all, not only the news conversation is happening, but also the conversations that are happening behind the scenes that are often very important. And I think that is actually what led to the Arab Spring, but also what is very important in a democracy. You know, so that is why we've been so successful in the US, because people, especially in this day and age where you have these social media tools, people want to be heard. They're not only here, but everywhere around the world. You know, we grew up in a world where it was very one-dimensional media. It's broadcast, you know, so I told you something and you just had to listen. Now I can tell you something, but you can actually participate, you can disagree, we can have a conversation about it. And I think in modern media, that is kind of how it's going to be, whether you want it or not, and we obviously one of the platforms that allow you to do that.
Okay, you do have experiences in different other countries. For instance, you do have partnerships with El País in Spain, with Le Monde in France. How do you assess this partnership? Yeah, the result of this partnership?
No, The results of the partnerships are very good so far, which is why we're keeping being very aggressive on our global advances. So in France, for instance, we launched in January 2012, and what we've seen over the 18 months that the site have been there, it's been, from an audience perspective, very successful. It's now more than 3 million monthly visitors. It's the biggest pure play news site in France already, which is actually ahead of the plan we had for the site. So we were always ambitious on what we wanted to do in France, but it's been actually doing better than we expected. And we've seen the same kind of trends both in Spain and in Italy when we talk about the European markets, and in UK for that matter. So far, it looks like the model that we had in the US and that we're now bringing to a lot of other markets are actually working in other markets, because it's not just a US thing that you want to have a conversation. Actually, it's a global phenomenon.
Talking about Tunisia, do you have partners, public partners, private partners here in Tunisia? What is your whole strategy to work?
Yes, so obviously here, in Tunisia, in Morocco, in Algeria, obviously, media legislation is tough on international media companies. So we need partners, and we need partners that are majority partners, because that is how it works in these markets. And obviously, that's what we've done here in Tunisia, and we'll do the same in Morocco and Algeria.
Just a small remark about le nom de domaine, the name of the domain.
Yes.
Do you think is it right for Tunisians to write it? We need simple things sometimes.
You're right. They tell me that, obviously I haven't tested it, but they tell me they tested it with some people and it was okay. It was not ideal, but it was okay. So I think it could have been easier, but I think it will work when they get the hang of it. I hope.
Okay. I will just talk about the transition from the digital agency Go Viral to the world of media. How is that?
No, the transition is great. I've worked in media my whole life. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I started several businesses, all of them in online media. So for me, this is kind of what was a natural evolution when Ariana convinced me that I should come on board and be the CEO and make this into a global media company. Actually, I probably couldn't have found a more suitable job for me at this point in my career. I've always been in media. I love media, and of course, online video is going to be a very important part of our strategy as we kind of become a global media player. We've already now in the US launched our HuffPost Live, which is 12 hours of online streaming video every day, 5 days a week. So we are very ambitious on kind of taking news to the next level, also when it comes to online video and how you use that for news reporting in a digital context. So I think from my perspective, it's a very good place for me to be.
Okay, maybe the last word.
No, as I said, it's really great to be here, and I can understand why Faraz, Alice, and the team has talked so much about kind of why it was so important to come here now. As I said on the press conference, it's really been interesting to see the Twitter activity that is going on here, and I've only been here for 24 hours, and people, obviously I can't validate whether it's just a certain breed of people, but it seems to me that people are still very engaged, still very much using these modern technologies to kind of express their opinions, and I love that. I think that is exactly what Huffington Post is about. So for me, it looks promising, but obviously time will tell whether the people in Maghreb will embrace what we're doing. We hope so. We're definitely here to kind of hopefully embrace kind of the Arab Spring, keep the conversation going. So hopefully that will happen.
Okay, thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you.